Let's start with the courts. And dismissed Circuit Court Judge Alfred Kwabena Siedu has sued the Chief Justice and the Judicial Service at an Accra High Court. He's asking the court to set aside findings of a disciplinary committee that looked into a petition that resulted in his removal from office. The committee found that he had an inappropriate relationship with a woman who had filed a divorce case in his court. He was also said to have abused his power as a judge to cause the arrest and prosecution of the woman. The dismissed judge, however, in court documents, argues that these conclusions are unlawful and must be set aside by the court. I'll bring you details of this story in our subsequent bulletins, but let's do some politics now. Today is exactly 1 year to the 2024 elections, and the New Patriotic Party says it is poised to break the 8 despite challenges with the economy. Speaking to TV3 News, a Deputy General Secretary of the party, Haruna Mohammed, said the party is on course with its plans and preparations for the election.
We were battle ready immediately 2020 elections were declared. So our preparations are on board. The works that we are doing it to satisfy the people of Ghana because of the social contracts we have with them. So we will be going back to them based on what we have done, and we'll be accounting this to them. So for us, the period of election or the time that is left is not a matter of concern. What concerns us is to get back to the people, speak to them, let them understand where we are, let them appreciate our governance system, give them the alternative solutions that we have to where we are today. And I think that the people of Ghana will buy into that.
We'll stay in politics now. The National Council of the New Patriotic Party has granted a request from the party's flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, to name his running mate at a later date other than today. Now, according to the NPP's constitution, Dr. Bawumia should have named his running mate today, 12 months clear of the next general elections.
The NPP constitution gives clear timelines for the flag bearer to make the choice of a running mate. An extension of time can also be sought under special circumstances. After 2 crunch emergency meetings on Wednesday, the National Council granted Dr. Bawumia's request for more time to announce his running mate.
Today should have been the day that our leader of the party and our presidential candidate should have presented his running mate to National Council. But however, upon request from the presidential candidate, that because his elections was done on the 4th of November 2023, he needs a bit of time to continue with his consultation before he brings the proposed name for running mate to National Council.
The party also varied the date of the parliamentary primaries of sitting MPs from January 20th to January 27th, 2024.
The new date for the elections at where the party have members of parliament will be on the 27th of January 2024. So kindly take notice of that.
In this very room, the New Patriotic Party top echelons, the National Council for that matter, has been meeting, deliberating on what to do with the running mate slot of the New Patriotic Party. But they have today accepted the request from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia for some respite and for some more time to further consult and decide who should be his partner on that New Patriotic Party ticket with which they seek to win the general election barely some 12 months away from today. Duke Mentopoku, TV3 News, Alisa Hotel, Accra.
Well, with just a year to the 2024 general elections, the opposition National Democratic Congress says Ghanaians will not struggle in making a decision. Now, National Communications Officer Sami Jemfi tells TV3 that the party is ready to serve Ghanaians and help rescue the fortunes of the nation.
Which of the candidates can you trust? Which of them has done it before? Where we are requires a steady hand that can steer us out of the mess we find on our hands. This is the time for experience and not experiments. This is a time for honest, sincere, trustworthy leaders not pathological liars. This is a time for visionary leaders, not people who are only experts in destroying economies, those who are only experts in deceiving the public just for votes. That is what the NDC is offering. A leadership you can trust, a leadership that can do the work, a leadership that understands the work, leadership of experience, leadership that cares, leadership of vision. And we are confident that by the grace of God, vast majority of the Ghanaian electorate will buy into this agenda and give us another opportunity to serve this nation and serve this nation truly.
Now, away from politics, the proponents of the promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian family bills, also known as the anti-LGBTQI bill, are fuming over the inability of Parliament to take the bill at its consideration stage. Now, the bill seeks to prescribe LGBTQ+ and related activities, propaganda, advocacy for or promotion of LGBTQI and related activities.
The bill will provide for protection and support for children and persons who are victims or accused of LGBT and related activities. Although the bill was suspected to be taken on Wednesday, the House was unable to do so due to the absence of the chairman of the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, Kwame Nyemedu-Entwi.
We engage, and the agreement is we end on questions and we continue tomorrow. We have the whole day tomorrow. We have the whole day tomorrow for other businesses.
This got the NDC MPs furious.
This is something that will take us 1 hour for 3 weeks. What is the problem of this august house with dealing with this bill, which matters to the Ghanaian people?
Moments thereafter, the NDC MPs gathered the press to address them. As the press conference was ongoing, tried to beckon the sponsors of the bill to be restrained and not grant any interview.
She's one of them. This is the same lady who went to stand on radio and said that I had taken money from LGBTQ. Let's go. And he said I shouldn't mention her name as a pro-LGBTQ person.
She's one of them. Continue.
She went and sat on the media and said she knows that I've taken money from LGBTQ people. She's about else. It took her father to come and apologize to me.
This infuriated them.
Frustration is that this is not the first time this is happening. It's not the second time. This is the third time the Speaker has given such an instruction and it has been disregarded in his absence. We need to understand from the majority side what their issues with the bill are. We need to understand with those who take the chair when the Speaker gives the instruction what their opposition to the bill is. We are very well aware of people in leadership on the majority side who are reaching out to sponsors of the bill asking us to step down the bill. Is that why the majority side is fighting against the bill? The excuse given today that the chairman of the committee is not in the chamber, so we can't take the amendment, is alien to the practice of this House.
Let's do some more stories now. Grave looters have allegedly invaded the Takoradi Cemetery and destroyed about 100 graves with some caskets missing. Meanwhile, the Sekondi Takoradi Metro Authority says it intends to deal with the situation.
The Takoradi Cemetery, which lies along the Takoradi-Kwesi-Mintim Highway, plays host to victims from the World War II, the military cemetery, and then the general public cemetery. Many tombstones destroyed and graves desecrated. Some family members, upon hearing of the development, rushed to check on the tombs of their loved ones.
My daddy's own is safe and my children's own is safe. My brother's children, their own are safe.
The Sekondi Takoradi Metro Assembly tells 3 News the cemetery was closed down in 2018 after it became full. That same year, one person was arrested for stealing the metal signages on graves and pulling iron rods from tombs at the cemetery. He was, however, cautioned and discharged by the law courts. Following this, much attention has not been paid to the cemetery.
It's been a while since we encountered such an incident in this area. I think 100 graves is too many. Authorities must take decisive action. It's a painful experience. What are the authorities doing? It is the assembly that takes the monies, so what do they do with the money they collect from the people?
Meanwhile, the Sekondi Takoradi Metropolitan Environmental Analyst Karim Abdul Hudu says the assembly intends to take immediate action to address the situation.
We are going to fix a fee, let's say maintenance fee, for people who have their graves there, both Sekondi and then Takoradi, so that yearly you pay a token. When you pay the token, then we'll use that one to maintain the place. Probably if the money is there, we can even put lights over there.
Let's do some stories on education now. And over 100,000 potential senior high school students are missing out on academic activities due to difficulties in getting placed days after schools reopened for freshers on Monday, December 4. My colleague George Queenan reports the National Resolution Center in Accra is overwhelmed with concerns that may not be fully resolved to get every applicant in school.
Here is a frustrated single parent with her son in the quest to further his education. 16-year-old Desmond Obeng selected Laboni Senior High School with a boarding option, only to be placed in Kimbu Senior High School as a day student. His mother, Florence Obeng, is not pleased.
We met others who were here last week, but their concerns have not been resolved.
She says she cannot afford the daily expenses if she accepts his son's placement at Kimbu Senior High School.
Because I will for transportation, parents
are really suffering and the situation is unbearable.
Where I'm staying is very far, Ningo Prom. This morning we left home around 5:30 and we are now here. It's 9 already. Before I get to Kimbu, I will miss classes.
The numbers keep increasing day by day at the SHS School Placement National Resolution Center at the Nator here in Accra. Parents are racing behind time to get their wards enrolled into suitable second cycle institutions across the country. There are those who had no placement at all, those changing to a preferred choice from what was given, and from day to boarding and vice versa. The frustration of parents tell from their faces.
Somebody in Accra, he chose the schools, and you gave him a school which is day at Asaman Kesi. So what is he going to do? Is the government enabling the son to go to school or thwarting the effort of the parents?
I am really worried that I stay in the house. My child needs to be in school by now.
Some say the 2 to 3 days given to resolve their concerns is just to close at them.
Almost 2 days, I'm afraid young coffee.
They said they will call us in 2 days, so we are hoping we will be called. We are really concerned. Our numbers have been collected. I pray we will be called so my child goes to school.
However, parents have been cautioned against the engagement with middlemen amidst their desperation, as all resolution activities here are absolutely free. Out of 598,839 results from WAEC, 585,797 candidates qualified, with 81.56%, which is 477,772 automatically placed in their preferred choices, a significant improvement from the previous year. 18.44% of qualified candidates, which is 108,025, could not be matched with their choices. George Queenan, TV3 News, Accra.
Let's do some stories on security now. In 2 separate attacks by unknown gunmen in 2 days on the Tamale-Bolga-Boko highways in the northeast and upper east regions have left 4 persons dead. The first attack happened at Waliwali in the northeast region on Monday, December 4 at 7 p.m. in a cargo truck, resulting in 2 deaths. Now, the second attack on Tuesday, December 5 was on a Garu-bound bus from Gwaso in the Hafu region at Congo in the Nabdan district near Zuarungu and Upper East Regional Capital. Now, 2 people died while many others suffered various degrees of injuries and are currently receiving treatment at the Bolgatanga Regional Hospital. Now, the United Nations has spent over $5 billion on peacekeeping operations and has urged member countries to increase their funding for its work. UN Under Secretary General Peace Operations Jean-Pierre was speaking at the official opening of the UN Peacekeeping Conference for 2023 in Accra.
The United Nations Under Secretary General expressed concern about the conflicts in some countries. He cited hate speech and coups being the highest factors of conflicts in countries such as Mali and Sudan. He, however, lauded member countries for contributing troops for peacekeeping operations. So far, the UN has contributed more than 17,000 peacekeepers, out of which 311 officers have lost their lives. The UN Under Secretary General called on countries to increase financial support for peacekeeping operations.
Financial resources are often inadequate for their mandated tasks. For example, the $5.5 billion budget for peacekeeping operations worldwide is less than the New York Police Department's $6.1 billion budget, even though we have 30,000 more personnel. Moreover, the UN peacekeeping budget comprises just 0.3% of global military spending. Our peacekeepers are saving countless lives for a relatively small investment. It is cost-effective. But for our missions to enable countries to reach a durable peace, we need your full support.
Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia pledged Ghana's commitment to continually support peacekeeping operations.
Our objective is clear: generate high-performing and specialized capabilities, fostering sustainable partnerships, and charting a course towards a more robust and responsive peacekeeping apparatus.
And that's our wrap of the 6 a.m. news here on TV3. My name is Judith Brown. We'll go for a short break and back with the rest of New Day.